Hello, good evening, and welcome. You're listening to Resonance 104.4 FM. This is One Life Left, Europe's favourite video game radio show.
Not only, but it is the favourite.
My name is Simon Byron.
And I'm Anne Scantlebury.
And for the next hour, we will be talking about video games and stuff.
Yeah, we will. Well, look, we should clear up the business, the elephant in the room, or, in the current case, not in the room. Steve's away this week.
Where is he?
I don't really know. We're going to Finland on Wednesday to do Marioke over...
You say we...
Me and Steve are going over to Finland
so I'm not.
On Wednesday, and he's already over there, paving the way.
Really?
Getting set up.
Okay.
Warming up his vocal cords.
Right.
Okay. But that means he's not in the studio with us today, so...
Crikey, what are we going to do then, Anne?
Well, luckily, we've parachuted in one of our fabulous co-presenters, someone that you might know if you listen to the show. Hi, Simon Parkin.
Hey Anne, hey Simon, how you doing?
How you doing?
Yeah, pretty good. How are you?
Yeah, good. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me. As
Emergency
always.
guest Steve.
Yep, parachuted in.
It's going to be good, I think.
I think it'll be all right. Have you had a good week, Simon?
I have. What have I done? Played Mario Kart with my son at the weekend. I shot him in the eye with a Nerf sniper bullet. No, I genuinely did. We were playing Nerf in the garden, and we have this sort of complicated thing where you've got a sort of like a slight assault course, etc., and you have to run to one point and pick up some more bullets and then stuff, and then he was stood behind a tree, his little head poked out. And the thing with the Nerf sniper bullet is that you can never be sure, because they're quite soft bullets, you can never be sure whether it's going to go straight, it's going to veer off. Anyway, poked his little head out, literally, and then there was
Did you run over and teabag him?
How are your kids, Simon? So for a moment, I ran over to him. I was like, "Are you okay? You okay?" Because he was quite near as well. So like this sniper thing goes 30 feet, and it whistles as well. Right? But I tell you what, he was so close, he wouldn't have heard the whistle. Chance to get out, and I ran over. I mean, hopefully you can tell by the fact that I'm sort of making fun of this. There was nothing. But for a moment, I was like, right then. I'm genuinely concerned for his vision. And I was thinking for a moment, well, he'll never be able to enjoy 3D. But he's okay, thanks for asking. What about you, Anne? Have you had a nice week?
Well, speaking of kids, my brother had a baby. Well, no, he didn't have a baby. His wife had a baby last night. I have a brand new nephew.
Congratulations.
Who is called Nathan.
Okay.
Presumably not after Nathan Drake, because
Right.
My brother doesn't play video games.
Okay.
So
it
wouldn't be that, would it?
And what age are you going to start nerfing him?
What? How old's Dexter?
6. Have to wait.
5, probably,
Okay.
wouldn't I?
Good. And things well with you? Good week, Simon?
Yeah, good week, thank you.
Good.
Yeah, I mean, it's only started, but, it's all right so far.
Good so far.
I mean, we like to review the previous week, Simon,
Okay.
in this
Yeah,
section.
that one was terrible.
Oh no. Well, let's move on.
Okay, well, fortunately it's not us, a barrel of laughs that are in the studio this evening. We're delighted to be joined by Jack Attriiidge. Hello, Jack.
Hey.
How are you?
I'm fairly gravy, I think. I've never said that before.
Have you shot any children?
Not
this
that
week?
I know of.
Okay.
I was going to say, why do Super Soakers? Are they still on the market, or was that just a 90s thing? Because I haven't.
Super
had
Soakers are
kids.
still around.
Are
Okay.
they still a thing?
Safer, are they?
Yeah. Well, yeah. You just get a bit wet.
Okay.
High speed water in the eye is not recommended.
Jack,
Yeah.
so you've been up to a lot recently. Chat to you about that.
Yeah, it's been a bit hectic.
Okay.
Yeah, the weekdays and the weekends, I don't really know
Flying
what they
by.
are, to be fair.
Which explains, so you are from, so your most recent job was at 22 Cans,
Yeah.
makers of Goddess, etc. So we'll be talking to you about that. But we'll start the show, as we always do, and that is with Anne's news.
life left. One life left. One life left. One life left. Video game news with Anne Scantlebury.
It's 7:04 on Monday the 8th of June. I'm Anne Scantlebury and this is the news. Steam will offer refunds on games for any reason if the request is made within 14 days of purchase and it's been played for less than 2 hours. Valve explained, maybe your PC doesn't meet the hardware requirements, maybe you bought the game by mistake, maybe you played the title for an hour and just didn't like it. Currently non-refundable are gifted games and movies. Some DLC will be marked as non-refundable purchases. Responses to this news have been pretty mixed.
What do we think about this then, gang? Parko, over to you.
Well, I saw a graph today that showed that the number of games being offered for sale has really tailed off or something since the announcement.
Or something.
Yeah,
So what you're saying is that you saw a graph?
I saw a graph,
okay,
and it was related to the story.
Right, interesting.
And it went down.
Did it?
Yes.
Presumably that's bad. Unless
thought
it's plotting bad things that happened.
Yeah, I think the subtext of the graph was that developers are nervous about selling copies of their game and then spending the money and then having to give it back when they no longer have it.
The games that people are quite worried about are the shorter games, the artsier games, not the big games. Yeah, of course, if you get that and you play that for an hour and you're like, I don't really like this, then...
Or you could finish it within that hour, couldn't you?
Yeah, well, the shorter games you might be able to finish it, or you get a good chunk of the way through the game, and you can give it back and essentially have just played it for free.
So maybe it should be a percentage of the running time.
I mean, I think that's what we're all thinking, Simon.
Yeah. Percentage
is the way forward.
Yeah, you're just going to get a ton of games with like 2 hour loading times at the beginning. Like the time, right? It's built into it.
Yeah. So this is coming to effect now. And the rules state that you can return it for any reason. That reason can be...
I mean, literally any reason.
Yeah, it's a tricky one, isn't it? Because, what if you bought a game in the 2 weeks in the lead up to a sale?
Well, so they are saying that they will come down hard on people who are clearly abusing the system, and they will reserve the right to refuse refunds to those people. But buying a game before a sale... Seeing it go on sale, getting a refund on that game and then repurchasing at the sale price is not an abuse of the system.
So they won't be coming down hard on you?
Well, no, not in that case, because that's not abuse.
Do we think this will last then? Because the last couple of things that Steam has introduced have been withdrawn quite quickly, haven't they? There was the...
modding.
The modding, that's right. That was there for 5 minutes, wasn't it?
Yeah. I didn't follow it too much, but it seems that they all... Especially this one seems to be Valve just saying they're in a position where they can do what they think is going to make their community love them back, doing things of value to them. But yeah, I mean, they all seem to be experiments as well. They do a lot of talks about things that they have done, things that didn't really work out, and they've got all this data for that, So it could just adapt, it could just change. For me, it is just a bit of a problem because I find myself being more attracted to the shorter games now. Like, I just will not have the time, especially in the last month, starting a company like that. You just don't have the time to get into something like that. So Gone Home was something I could just digest and blow
So are you saying that you couldn't trust yourself then to then refund it having played it? See, that's the implication.
No, but I guess my fear is that
there'll be people
aren't going to
as honest as you.
No. Well, you can say that, but I was just going to say, if this becomes a thing, are people going to be less likely to make short games? Are they going to start saying, right, I'm going to pad this out, which can screw with pace as well,
Remedy boss Matthias Millerin has left the company after 15 years. The former CEO will move to wargaming in an unyet announced position. In his time at Remedy, Millerin headed up games including Alan Wake, Max Payne and Quantum Break, which is due for release in 2016. He said in a statement that it's time to move on and start another adventure.
So why have they not named his position yet?
Maybe they're making one up for him.
When he gets there?
Yeah. What do you want to be, son?
Is this a sign of intent from wargaming? Do they need a sign of intent?
Well, I quite liked what he said about this, which was Helsinki will always be my home, but Cyprus is quite warm and welcoming. I think maybe he just wants to move his family somewhere where he can wear flip-flops.
Right. Who here plays World of Tanks?
Can't say it's me.
No.
I've played it a couple of times.
What's it like?
It's not for me.
Okay.
Load of tanks in there, are there?
Yeah, it's like, well, I think the problem that people who aren't sure about it have with it is that it can be seen as a pay-to-win game. So the more money you spend in the game, the more powerful your tank, and so it no longer has an even playing field.
This may be made up, but did I hear something about someone spending £500,000 on a tank? Or is that...
That sounds like
just
something...
mythology?
It's popular in Eastern Europe, isn't it?
Oh, okay. That's probably why I don't...
Yeah, no, I think people have spent obscene amounts of money on it.
Yeah, most likely.
Yeah, enough to tempt people from... where does he come from?
Helsinki.
Remedy, thank you.
Gears of War developer Black Tusk has renamed itself the Coalition. Speaking about the rebrand, studio head Rod Ferguson said, "A coalition is a team of diverse individuals working together for a common purpose, a concept that we feel describes our studio quite well." The name also gives a nod to the coalition of ordered governments in Gears of War. Who wants to be the first to tell them how well the coalition went in UK politics then?
Doing well on the timing for these news stories, by the way.
Thank you. It's always good to get those.
Not so much the selection of them, though. Studio changes name. You're going to read out when they've got a new website next, are you? Or on Twitter?
Yeah.
What appealed to you about that story?
Well, it's just the change of name. I quite liked that the reason for changing the name was because of the dictionary definition of the name. Quite reflected what they think a team should be.
Do you think that's the case then? Do you think they were sat there for a minute and going, hey, we're called... Hang on, have you seen... Someone got a dictionary. Have you seen this? But this is what we... What? But... Yeah, let's... And they went, OK, let's change our name. Do you think that is the extent of the story? Or do you think there's more to it?
Well, I think there's more to it. I think it's, now that they've taken on Gears of War, they want to make it their own. They want to put themselves out there and say this is our game.
This is like Peter Moore getting EA tattooed on his face or whatever it was he did. Did he get, or was it a GTA? Someone did a GTA 5 tattoo, didn't they? And someone did
He did release the launch date, didn't he?
Did he?
One of them did.
Have you seen his naked torso recently, Parko? Have you come across that in the scope of your work?
I have the other half of the we press them together.
Can this help then? Is this a good thing? I don't know. Is this like they're committing themselves to a series that they're currently working on? What happens if they stop working on it?
Well, exactly. This has been with... who was it with before? Gears of War was with...
It was an Epic game, wasn't it?
Yeah. So... not to do a weird analogy, it's sort of like, your mum gets remarried and your new dad makes him take your name. It's a bit like, no, you are. This is we've got a strong relationship here now.
Right, we'll keep
Sometimes it just helps internally, just like a restructure or something like that. It can feel like I've been in companies before where they split the team down the side and they wanted to give them both names to feel different. Okay. And the only time I've had a problem with this is when Opal Fruits changed their name to Starburst and added the blackcurrant flavour, and that just turned me off my favourite sweet.
That's okay. There's a lesson for you there.
Valve has announced the 10th of November as the release date for the first lot of Steam machines. Alienware's Steam machines will come at 4 different prices, ranging from £295 to £490. Cyber's 3 models range in price from £325 to £924. The Steam controller is available for pre-order at $39.99, and the Steam Link box, which will stream games from your regular game setup to your TV, will be the same price. Pre-orders via Valve's website will be open in the UK soon.
Slightly over.
Oh, yeah.
Finally, hey? Finally. Which one are you going to opt for?
Literally none of them. Because
really?
I've got Steam on my laptop.
Okay.
It's brilliant.
You use it on your TV, though?
But my laptop's in front of my lap. Like, it's on my lap. It's literally... I can do it in bed.
Yep.
On the tray. I can't because I'm not attached to the internet there. In bed. Mm-hmm. At the dining room table.
Okay. In
the garden sometimes. If you have the door open and then you angle the router correctly, you can play games in the garden.
You don't need to be online all the time to use Steam, man. You set yourself free. You can use it offline. Have you not used the offline mode?
Shut up, no. This is a whole new world.
Right. Yeah.
Well, yeah, so
you could use it on the train.
Why root myself at a TV?
Okay.
I've got my PS3 for that.
Well, the idea is, of course, to stop the sort of plethora of wires and stuff like that. If you want to get it on the big screen, it ties in with the big picture mode, all that sort of stuff. It's making PC gaming seem more like consoles, isn't it? Mm-hmm. I guess the thing for me is that what I would hope from a Steam machine is that it would offer a degree of stability and that you knew exactly what would work on what and when. And it already sounds like there's too many of them coming.
I think they do. They say that every game should work on
Every game.
all of them, and also every game is playable with the new Steam controller, which I think is pretty good. I tried it at
Did you?
GDC this year.
Okay, with the old haptic thumb pads.
Yeah, it's weird. You roll your thumb across it, and it vibrates so as if to give the sensation that you're holding a stick. And
Okay.
they say you can play League of Legends with it, and games that you wouldn't think are suited to a controller, and you probably wouldn't win. But every game they've tested it with, and it does work. So
Okay.
I think I'll probably get one.
Do you? So which one are you going to get then?
Oh, like probably the cheapest one.
The cheapest one.
Yeah,
So
well,
all games will work even on the cheapest one?
probably not the highest.
Yes or no?
settings, But
What settings then?
I'm not. This
Just
is the
you got
wrong
to rank
guy.
Do I have to turn physics off?
Yeah. Turn all of the Ds off.
Well, I see what I would like from these machines, though, is to realise how good they are and then for you to not have to make that choice. That's the problem that I have with PC games. Is
But
that,
that's the whole PC thing, isn't it? It's choice and
Don't want choice.
customization.
Don't want
Well,
choice.
I know, yes, but that's why it's kind of a mixed message, isn't it? That they're trying to put a console in a front room, but there's loads of different versions, and you're like, well, you're not quite sure if it's going to play everything. Like, there's confusion in the room, so they've got a bit of a problem here, I think.
Okay. So Anne's not getting one. Parko's getting the cheapest one. Which one are you going to get, Jack?
Well, this is probably criminal to admit, but I still need to get a next-gen console before I...
Do you?
Yeah. I guess it's one, just saying, can I justify actually buying a console? And I guess two is, can I justify just having the actual time to sit down and play them recently, which is also kind of like awful thing that happens the more busy you get making a game.
There's a very good piece on Eurogamer about that very thing.
There you are.
Will Porter wrote it this weekend. It's excellent.
Yeah, click the link here.
Should have been busier making his game, shouldn't he? And finally, the desire to get into esports has never been stronger. Valve's Dota 2 tournament, The International, has a prize pool of $11 million. And that's not it. 25% of the sales of the Compendium, a digital tournament companion, continue to go towards the prize, meaning more dollar for the winner. If you're wondering what it'll take to get Team One Life Left off our butts and into esports, it's still more than $11 million.
Yeah, I thought you were going to do this.
You did think I was going to do this?
Well, didn't we have a plan for you to learn how to play Dota or League of Legends and then enter and win?
Yeah, right. What I did, one of them, I started playing Hearthstone. Wasn't for me.
Okay.
I wasn't very good at it.
Is the money for you, though, like, potentially?
Yeah, okay. Every time and I do these stories every now and then, and I'm like, oh, I really should get into it. But it's a massive bit of your life. You have to be dedicated
For a massive amount of money, yeah.
like an Olympian.
Okay. Is this Dota, was it, rather than League of
Yeah,
Legends?
this is Dota.
Do any of you guys play Dota? So no one here plays World of Tanks. No one plays Dota. Played League of Legends, anyone?
I have a little bit, but the thing is, I committed to Counter-Strike about 12 years ago as a kid, and like I hadn't played it original in a couple of years. Looked on Steam 1 or 2 nights ago, and it said I clocked something like 324 hours.
Wow.
Which just seeing that,
You should change your name to Counter-Strike then, to show how committed you are.
Maybe, but it means that if I can't now, I feel like it'd be betraying that kind of time investment to go to one of those other games that they just require, they don't require you, but they encourage you to spend just days of your life becoming so good at it that you justify the time you put
We're
into
kind of
it.
in the wrong demographic, aren't we? Because these kind of games
attractive young men?
Well, yeah, that,
And lady.
But
Thanks,
yeah,
Simon.
they're kind of tailored to people in their late teens and early 20s, and that's borne out in the winners. I mean, one thing I'd say about these kind of stories of the ballooning price pots come around quite often, and it's not entirely true to say that the players will get all of this money, because of course most of them have sponsors and are part of teams, and certainly in the Far East, and they will only get a small fraction of the winnings if they win.
Wait, so if I won, how much would I get?
Well, if you were an independent, then you'd probably get
I'm
going to
need an entourage, aren't I, to get myself forward?
Yeah, and you might need you might have a sponsor, or someone to provide you with a house in which you train. And,
I do need someone to provide me with a house.
Yeah, there's Team Dignitas, for example, hire a psychotherapist to talk to, and someone to handle diet and stuff like that. So obviously, when you've got an organisation running you as if you're an athlete, you only get a small proportion of the winnings, I think.
Right.
I like the sound of that.
First time that a guest has disputed some of the news.
Well, no, I'm not disputing it.
Well,
I
you
mean,
said that you thought you implied that it was disingenuous for Anne to say that the players are getting more money.
I mean, the New Yorker
So-
is picky, isn't it?
Despite that, thanks, Anne.
One Life Left video game news with Anne Scantleberry.
Do you like this, Anne?
I can't say anything other than no.
Happy Muse Day! Happy Dronesmas!
This is Muse, isn't it,
It is
Simon?
Muse, yeah. The new album came out today. What do you think of it?
Great.
I mean,
I
this is
think
when it gets going.
Is it?
Yeah. It's a concept album. Do you know, I have nothing wrong with that. It's about, you have to listen to it in its entirety. I mean, we've gone straight to track 8. It's called Reapers. This is a chiptune version of it, by the way. They haven't gone all...
Wait, so they haven't done a chiptune album?
No, but somebody's done chiptune versions of each song off the album, so it's a
Wow.
chiptune concept
quick
album.
work.
Yeah. It's good.
So what's this song about?
It's called Reapers.
In the story.
Well, it
of
starts
the
off
album?
with the protagonist feels a bit sort of empty, dead inside, and then gets brainwashed in Psycho, and basically becomes conditioned to start killing people using drones, and then they get out of it, and then the world ends. I know. And it's as good as that sounds, Simon.
My
good.
word.
Yeah. Why would you... So this is Steve's fault. Why would you leave me the show in my hands the day that a Muse album comes out? And we're going to sit here and listen to it all.
I heard all their albums are about the reptilians running the world.
Well, that's
right?
just theme
So-
that goes through it. You know.
All right.
Right.
Good to know.
And how long left on this song?
Another minute. It's the falsetto's back. Should we stop that? Sorry. You're listening to One Life Left. Show about video games. Jack Attriiidge.
Hi.
So, Jack, are you a pathological liar?
I think so.
I believe that's how you start interviews with people who've worked at 22 Cans.
Yeah, I was going to say, because I thought you were hinting that you might say something, and I was like, what would I say? But I think the transcript was just like, I don't, and it was like 3 dots, and then
Right.
so
And then crying.
We can talk about it now, can't we? But you were there at the time, weren't
yeah,
you?
yeah.
I mean, I can't imagine what this is to fill everybody in. What Paper Shotgun ran quite an aggressive interview with Peter Molyneux, which started with that line. And yeah, so what was that like in the office?
Oh yeah, well it was a crazy crazy thing, of course. Obviously, I think that week was pretty intense for most of the studio. So yeah, I think everyone kind of felt that pressure, and Peter was great at just keeping everybody, actually focusing on making stuff. But yeah, that one was quite tough, and I sat next to Peter, so I kind of left my seat and found something to do elsewhere for a little bit. But yeah, I mean, I was saying to you, one of the last things I did on my way out 22 Cans was put together a documentary.
Right.
For one of the Kickstarter pledges. And that's probably going to come out in 2 or 3 weeks, and it explores some very close to the bone stuff.
Okay.
Over that. So I felt that was the best way of just putting all the cards on the table, a very honest view of the whole journey from going there, on the first day with, a kind of just super, super excited. And then, that period near the end and, all the time in between. So there will be some interesting surprises.
Right. How are people going to get to see the documentary?
I'm not sure how they're going to distribute it. Okay. So I don't want to say anything that isn't true. But I think it will be probably widely available. There might have been some clause in how it is distributed in the Kickstarter, but I'm sure it'll turn some heads. They'll have highs and lows, and you might see Peter setting fire to his desk at one point. You might see some fireworks on the balcony.
Wow!
In fact, I remember where I was at a pub once in Guildford, and someone from Lionhead across the road came and said, "We saw a bunch. We were in a board meeting today, and we saw smoke coming from your balcony, and that was our fireworks." So yeah, nice to know that we've got a way of smoke signalling each other.
Fantastic. You've recently moved on. We both got new jobs at roughly the same time. I think it was. I mean, you could tell I got a new job because. It was written about in MCV, the video games trade magazine. You, however, got a piece in The Guardian about you moving on.
I don't know how that happened.
Wow. So, it's a pretty big deal. Tell us what you're up to now.
So now I've left 22 Cans with a programmer from 22 Cans called Paveli Mihalovic, and we've started a company called Flavorworks. And we've decided to make a really cool, crazy, ambitious game, which we won't say anything about until we can show it, because I don't want to, say anything that might come back to bite me. And I guess it's one of the things I've learned through my experiences in the last few years. But I've shown a couple of people. I did show you.
You did show me earlier, yes.
What do you think about it?
Well, I keep a very distinct line between what I do between 9:30 and 6 and the fun I have on One Life Left. And but however, you did show me earlier, and I have to say, you've ruined it now. I was going to try and make you talk about it, and you've done very well by reflecting it on me. I've not seen a game like that for quite some time, and the glimpse that you showed me, I just thought it was something incredibly special. I think it's going to surprise a lot of people. It blends very old school gameplay with new technology in a way I've not seen before. So hurry up with it, basically.
That worked really well,
didn't it?
I had no idea.
You put me on the spot there. Just talk it down.
Jack, I know you can't say anything about it, but what colour is it?
Oh, what colour?
Exactly. So what's what we were going to...
It feels like a purple. No, maybe a purple. What do you mean?
I'll tell you. So it was dark.
Really?
Yes.
Dark purple.
Dark. I didn't say purple. Yeah, it was pretty...
Okay, but I'm just confused. I mean, I like rolling with that kind of stuff. I like conversing in that manner. I guess dark's pretty appropriate.
Yeah.
Okay.
A bit of a neon.
Was it
vibe?
Can you talk to the monsters?
Okay, now I'm lost. Now I'm really lost.
Simon's referencing the famous Edge review of Doom, where they said, it's all well and good, but if only you could talk to the monsters.
Oh, right, okay, sorry.
Which we will never let them forget.
I'm out of touch. Yeah, I guess it's kind of old school in that sense. A kind of, what colour is old school? I don't know. But with a fresh twist.
Is it difficult emerging from somewhere as high profile as 22 Cans and working with an individual as high profile as Peter Molyneux, is it difficult sort of breaking out from that shadow? I mean, obviously the first question that you were asked when you came on this show was about your old times. Is that difficult for somebody who wants to do something, change direction?
I don't know. It's kind of exciting because I think with 22 Cans, you're working to your creative director's vision. You know, you can put so much of yourself in a game, and you can put yourself out there. But if you're going to constantly fight against someone else's vision, then you're going to end up not really doing your job very well, and trying to serve the worst of both, I suppose. And so I think for a while I was itching to go out and do things on my own instincts and go by, my own flavors or whatever. And that's what we try to do with this. So me and Pavle got together. We brought it up with Peter and everything like that. They said, you know what, we'll support you. Go out and do all this stuff. Don't worry about competitors' clauses or anything like this. And so that was really lovely of him. And he's also done that for tons of companies that have grown out of his old companies, which kind of populate our Guildford industry.
Yeah.
And yeah, we spent a couple of months just putting this together, and that's given us like a kind of demo, and then we're going to try and it's a story game. That's what I can say. It's a story game. So we're putting a lot of our energy into just solidly writing over the next few months, and then trying to pull together a lot of people towards the end of the year, and maybe ship about March, maybe if we're lucky.
Okay.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah,
but it's very unknown. It's because it's. I guess we decided to be modest and do something that we've never done before, rather than doing something that's very safe and sensible and affordable and profitable and all of those things. So we don't really know how it's going to work out, but it's been great fun so far. Just stumbling over a lot of things and finding our feet. So yeah, I recommend it.
When will you be talking more about it then?
I just, it is that thing where I just want to get, right now, you could show it, and I have shown it to you, of course, and you'd be like, all right, I get it. But I think, I remember having what felt like waiting 2 or 3 years for Metal Gear Solid 2 to come out.
God, that was awful 2 years as well, wasn't it? After the big E3 reveal. And
I think that's what made me want to become a game designer, because I was like, maybe I could make this game quicker than that. and then I just do paper and stuff. And also, I'm still waiting on The Last Guardian, and I won't give up hope for that. This year is the year. This year, C3.
I have heard, actually, it's going to be... I have heard. Have you heard,
Very
Parker?
saucy.
I've heard some things.
Have you?
I haven't heard anything.
You should listen to One Life Left. What's the best way for people to follow your progress?
So I have a Twitter called Jack's Flavour. We have, but I just felt I should just tie in because the company's Flavorworks, and they've got a Twitter as well. Although it's a very tricky thing having a Twitter feed and you can't actually talk about it yet.
You've not thought through your social media strategy, have you?
No, because this is it. Like if we're going to be like private about it and then just like launch it in one go and say, oh, I can't believe 2 people made this, then it kind of needs to hit at once. Like I think if you saw No Man's Sky like 6 months before it was ready to show, then maybe it wouldn't have had the buzz it did, but being able to see it in that state, made you really buzz for it. And obviously we want people to be excited about it and want to play it. So yeah, tricky.
Cool. So keep up with your Jack's Flavour on Twitter. Got any questions for Simon, Anne, while we're here?
What's the main lesson that you took from 22 Cans that you can take into your new job?
I do. It probably is and maybe actually I've kind of gone off the deep. I've gone too far and decided to not say anything. Right. But maybe that, and just say let's back up what we want to do with something you can show. But Peter he taught me a ridiculous amount of stuff. Like I think because that guy, he's not just game designing, but he's leading, and he's getting a team of people to make things from scratch, and there's a lot of process we've learned from that. There's also maybe a lot of things you could say, I wonder if I could do it this way and whether that would be better or worse. But yeah, an awful lot over the last few years.
Thanks, Jack. Any ideas? This isn't Muse.
Yeah, I was going to say.
It's a bit jolly for Muse, isn't it?
Spinal Tap, our strange new direction.
Any thoughts? Anybody recognise it? Come on, you're
I've
all,
got no idea.
all kids, aren't you?
It has to be a video game, 'cause no.
It is video games.
Yeah.
The theme tune from...
But if Muse wasn't, I just assumed it was like
Nice.
some disastrous single from the 80s.
see if you can deduce what so did it evoke any sort of images?
Do you know, it kind
Could you
of-
describe the sort of game it's about? Come on, use some adjectives. Parko.
Bouncy.
Bouncy, very good, very good.
We're halfway there.
Think of a bouncy video game. What bouncy or sort of bounce?
Balls?
No? How dare you?
Balloons.
No. Bouncy. Just bouncy, recoils, I don't know. Springy. Thing on a spring!
I just envision this going
Dizzy?
around for hours and
Thing on a
hours and
spring. That's
hours.
the name of it.
Oh, right. I thought it was a clue.
The game was written by a dear friend of me and my current employer. So, thing on a spring. Everybody, blast from the past.
It is a blast from the past.
Somebody's
Your
past.
past.
From what? Right, we could let go on forever, but we can't. We've got to crack on. We're running late, Parko. I think it's time for...
Email, messages, and forward BCC. One life letters.
Thank you very much for all of your letters. I say letters, I mean emails. And when I say thank you very much for all of them, I mean for the 5 that you sent through today.
5's a good number.
Lawrence Weir, dear team and super special guest. Given my question last week managed to make itself redundant due to breaking news, I've decided to get personal.
Whoa.
Thinking back to your youth, can you think of a game which blew your mind, but you feel has not stood the test of time? For me, it's Final Fantasy VII. Random battles just infuriate me now. Love the show, says Lawrence. Games you've returned to recently that haven't stood the test of time. Jack Attriiidge.
I say, one of the things that blew my mind back then, they have stood a test of time for me.
Right.
So things like Metal Gear Solid, I still put it up there as just yeah. I can see through like the graphical infidelities, but I still think that game's awesome.
Okay.
And as a weird experiment in university, I went and played a bunch of games that I didn't grow up with, but that I should have, but I didn't have anything in my house. And that was like Die Hard Trilogy, Halo, a shame to say, and GoldenEye 64.
Okay.
All of them stood up for me, and
Right.
I'd never played them as a child, and I was just like, wow, these are pretty tight. So
Anything to add, Parker?
For me, probably Mickey's Castle of Illusion on Mega Drive.
Did you buy that
that
recently
must stay
on
up.
Steam?
I didn't buy it recently, no.
Did you get given it recently?
No, this is just me playing it on emulation a while back.
Okay.
And because when I was a kid, it was incredible, and it looked like the best
Totally.
thing ever, and I lost a few weeks to it, but it didn't
Scans.
stand up.
I didn't play a lot of games as a kid, but I remember playing one with my brother, and one Christmas we figured out what it was, and I found an iPhone version of it, and it was Repton, and I loved that game so much. It, remembering it, it's very evocative, like me and my brother sitting there and playing that together. And then played it on the iPhone. I just think it was a rubbish version of it.
Right.
I don't think the game itself hasn't aged well. I just think that the iPhone version of it isn't very good. So sometimes remaking stuff,
Don't do it.
yeah, it's going to make it worse.
Scans, you got a letter?
Yes, dear team at onelifeleft.com. I found myself with a healthy chunk of free time to throw myself into a new game this weekend, so I browsed through the strange games I've picked up as part of humble bundles over the last few years. I came out clutching Divinity 2, which I have no memory of buying, but liked the look of as a breakaway from the games I've been playing recently. I got about 2 hours in before I died for the first time and found that there was no autosave option enabled, so I'd lost an hour and a half of progress. In this, the one life I had left. Gut punch. What was the last game that you bailed on because of a schoolboy saving error or checkpoint nightmare? Keep up the good work. Robbie.
It was Legend of Zelda, Ocarina of Time. Got to Spirit Temple. It crashed when I was sort of 3/4 of the way through. Will not be playing it again. I say crashed. I closed it, and then I think it must have run out of batteries while it was closed. And then I thought I can't be bothered to do all that again, so didn't.
Wow.
Yeah. Parker?
For me, Grand Theft Auto 5.
What?
This is the original one that came out for Xbox, and they released the patch, and it destroyed my save, and I couldn't go back to it until the more recent version came out, and then I played through the entire thing. So.
I'm getting quite close to the end now. I'm on the sort of last. They're gearing up for the last mission. I'm so excited. Jack,
I tell you, for me, it's not a save issue, but it's. I guess this is kind of one of the fear of not having these shorter games. Because I played Pikmin all the way through twice to the last level, and then I just got distracted, took a break, spent a week away, got back there, forgot how to play the game, so I couldn't ever finish that last level. And that's why I started the game again, got all the way through, same thing happened, never seen the end of that game.
Parker, have you got a letter?
I have. Hello, team and SSG. Whatever happened to the game you were developing for Resonance? Has it gone the way of Silent Hills? Will you release it when we find Kojima? Have there been any titles you've been looking forward to, only to have your hopes dashed and dreams shattered? Love the show, Zubair. P.S. I've been wanting to write since GDC, but since my last letter in September was really cool for having the word Lego in too much. I'm terrified of being berated again.
Fair enough. Yeah, I was thinking about our promise to make a game only today, and we didn't, did we?
No, sometimes. Do you know what? Maybe we just aren't talking about it. Maybe it is in development and we're just decided not to talk about it until we've got something to show. So, might talk about it again in 5 years.
Watch this space. Jack, you've got a letter.
I've got a letter. Right. Dear team, emergency bonus teammate and SSG. This week I've started playing Don't Starve. I'm a few hours in. I love the style and inevitably hate the spiders. I hardly feel like I've scratched the surface though. So I booted up the remastered Speedball 2 for some instant gratification. It doesn't feel as tight as the original, but it's pretty spiffy. But then it's hours later and I'm on my second season. Where am I meant to find the time to play more games? How do you do it? Pip pip, Robert.
Again, I'll refer you back to the Eurogame article. I think it gave some quite creative ways to shoehorn some gaming time in when you've got to be getting on with your life. Any other tips?
Get an iPhone. That's for me.
iPhone.
Yeah.
That's literally where I play most of my games. Bang Man. Every train ride,
Exactly.
man.
You're a good guess.
My Dark Souls.
on
That
brand.
Right, finally, a one-word answer from you, Jack. Alex writes, Dear team and super special guest, how much does it cost to make a video game? I know the likes of GTA and Destiny cost a squadrillion to make because that's all part of their PR, but what would an indie dev be budgeting, for example? Ciao for now, says Alex.
One word.
Or however many numbers.
Or how many? Dude.
20 seconds.
Double what you think is going to be. What's the word for that?
Excellent. Thank you very much for your letters. Please keep them coming.
Team at onelifeleft.com.
We often give out codes. Sometimes we forget to, just like today. Okay. Next up, we've got a tune and a very special offer. Oh, not that one. Done that. It was good.
Simon.
Where are we? No, sorry. It's.
I recognise that one.
Sorry, what was it? You kids.
That was it.
Next up, we've got a tune and a very special offer. You all, well, I say you all, I didn't see Jack doing this, but Parko and Scant, you were both separately dancing.
Yeah. Never danced together.
Parko was doing it with his head, you were doing it with your arms.
Yeah.
Were you doing your legs, Jack?
I was doing it with my heart.
Okay, this is Cybernoid 2, The Revenge. Very old school feel to the music this evening because I'm an old man. This is from, do you remember our guest, Andrew Hewson, came on the show and he was talking about his book, Hints and Tips for Video Game Pioneers.
Yeah.
Well, the book's not out yet, but they've released an album.
What? An album before a book?
Yeah. Containing a load of old Hewson songs and themes. It's a really varied track list. It's available now on Bandcamp. And One Life Left listeners, if they want more of this, can check out the album. It's on the HewsonConsultants.bandcamp.com. I think it's something like $7.99, something like that, which is a bargain. But if you put it in your checkout and you see the space for a code, if you enter One Life Left, all one word, One Life Left, all one word, in the HewsonConsultants.bandcamp.com, you get 40% off.
What?
40% off, guys.
Have we ever been a voucher code before?
We are, yeah. We're like Hot UK Deals. Or we're like Groupon.
Pizza Hut.
Exactly, and we all have to have it together, don't we? So that's, yes, that's available now. Go do check it out. Parko!
Hey.
Are you going to release an album before your book comes out?
No, do you know though? I wrote to my publisher last week. I have a book coming out.
Hello. Hello.
Clang.
Yeah, I wrote to him and said, "What do you guys think about doing like a nice special edition like they do on that Kickstarter?" And he went, "That sounds like a really good idea. Let me go and speak to the team." And then he came back the next day and said, "They don't think you'll sell enough."
So this book you're doing then, Simon, sounds great.
Yeah.
How many do you hope to sell?
I would like a few.
What's it about?
It's called Death by Video Game.
What's it about?
It's about why do we play video games? What are the what do they give us in our minds and in our hearts that keep us playing?
Okay.
Sometimes the limits of our well-being.
Right, and what, is this just you thinking or what? Have you spoken to other people? Or?
Yeah, so it's me thinking and telling other people's stories to illustrate my points.
Okay. What did you learn then?
Well, each chapter is divided into a different thing that I think video games give us. So there's a chapter on challenge, one on empathy, one on glory, one on sanctuary, one on survival, things like that. And then each chapter has different stories that illustrate where a video game is given a person, that kind of thing.
How did the idea for this come about then?
That's a good question. Well, I've been wanting to do kind of a more serious non-fiction book for a while.
Because you've written books, haven't you? I think that I was in the where was I? I was in the Edinburgh the games. There was a games exhibition on in Edinburgh, wasn't it?
Yes,
Yeah,
that's
I saw
right.
your book up there.
You tweeted me a photo of your
my
son looking sad,
holding it
while
up.
holding it.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I did a book a couple of years ago, which was more of a coffee table style book, and it was more like, here are 151 video games that kind of tell the story of history. So this is a bit different. This is kind of, I guess you would say, literary non-fiction, that kind of thing. So
right.
It's more of a sustained argument rather than just hit some stuff about video games. So
Who's your audience for this book?
you guys and the listeners.
Wow. Wow, thank goodness we've had you on.
Well, I think it's people who play games, people who enjoy games, but also people who are maybe don't play games but are interested in why lots of people play games. And so, yeah, I'd say hopefully a fairly wide audience would have an interest.
What did you... Oh, sorry, Jack.
Where did you find the people that made up these... The chapters of interest?
So from various places. Some of them are stories that I've told already in pieces of journalism, and I've reworked those kind of anecdotes and features into more of a narrative. And other ones I went out looking for specifically because I had like an idea or a concept that I wanted to find a story for.
Right. So you came up with the concepts first and then found the people to kind of elaborate on them. Those.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, pretty much.
What did you learn? What was the biggest thing you learned, or the most surprising thing?
I think it was really just kind of solidifying a bunch of ideas that I've been kind of exploring through my work probably the last 3 years, and really coming to some conclusions about why I play video games and why I think people play video games that are beyond just the usual stuff like the sport-like aspects of games, you know, of competition and winning and all of that. I think you know, games are based on a rule set and they're very fair and they give us reliability. And, you know, if you work hard in a video game, you get rewarded in kind. And lots of things that don't work out that way in our world always. And so most video games are quite comforting. It's very rare that a video game violates its rules. And that feels nice.
Is it available now? Is it out soon?
It's not. It's out on August the 21st. You can pre-order it on Amazon already, though.
Thanks very much. Anne, what did you contribute to this book?
My support, and I'm hoping that I'm in the
You
acknowledgements.
got an acknowledgement. Yeah.
Yes!
Interesting. I was
this
saying
the
that
only
as a
reason you
joke.
did this?
I said that as a joke. What am I in there? Thanks, Simon. Now it's time for local news.
Hello, I'm Sega Badawi, and welcome to One Life Left, Local News. Scandal has hit the finale of the popular talent show contest that has been sweeping the nation. The winner of post-nuclear apocalypse Country's Got Talent was a dog called Pip, who went around a house for a bit before walking back to meet his owner. However, it is believed that Pip was replaced by an alternative dog for the bit where he had to look at a cot as he was scared of children. Voters in the competition have been deeply upset by this and would be asking for the cost of their phone votes to be refunded, but there aren't any phones in a post-nuclear apocalypse, so they will be asking for their tin can and string to be refunded instead. Thanks, and back to your usual programming.
Thank you, Sega Badawi. Excellent as ever. Reviews. We've got only a few minutes, so we're going to have to be quite brief about this.
You go, Simon.
I've been playing Xenoblade Chronicles on 3DS. It dropped to £20 on Amazon. I thought I'm having that. I'm 2 hours in. It's a bit dour, a bit grey. It's got weird English accents, the characters in it, which I'm finding a little off-putting. Looks very pretty. Still don't fully understand it. We'll persevere and get back to you. 7 out of 10.
Simon, what have you been playing?
I've been playing a game called Chips Challenge 2 on Steam at the moment, which is a sequel to a game that came out in 1989. The guy finished Chips Challenge 2, the sequel, like 2 years later, but was forbidden from releasing it because someone else held the trademark. So it's been almost 25 years, and he's just been able to release it. And it's a cute top-down puzzle game in which you play chip and negotiate rooms in order to, while collecting microchips and making your way to the exit.
Jack, why were you making noises then?
Well,
Are you okay?
That game was on like a Windows 95 computer.
I see.
When me and my sister were younger. Whenever you died, it went bummer like that.
Yeah, that's right.
And it was brilliant. It's the only game my sister ever played as well.
Right.
And
Purely for the language?
I don't know. Well, no, it was just great little design, and just not seen anything like that for a while. And then the second one coming out, that's mental. That's like Spinal Tap 2 or something like that.
So it hasn't been touched for that time then? It was finished and now
Apparently not. He finished it, and has now just brought it out. So.
Okay, so after all this time, it must be...
He thought he was going to have to die before it could come out.
Wow.
But he didn't.
So it's a nice story. No, mercifully.
Right. So having waited all that time, is it worth the wait, Simon? What's the score?
Well worth the wait. 7 out of 10.
Excellent. Jack?
Yeah, I guess the game I've been playing a lot is Alto's Adventure on the iPhone. It's like I think it's might be 79p, might be 149. It's worth it.
It's just money to you.
That's true. Yeah, well, right now there's not much left. But it's just I guess you could say like a kind of platformer, but you're on skis and you're sliding down these mountains. Beautiful visuals, wonderful music. You just hold on the screen to jump, and then you do a somersault, and you try and get as many somersaults in there as you can without bailing. And there's just like all these challenges, so you keep leveling up and unlocking new characters. It's a very simple mechanic. It's endless skier basically, and it's kept me busy for months and months and months. So totally a 7 out of 10.
Excellent.
We also reviewed that a few weeks ago. Steve and I both reviewed it, same show. We were slightly disappointed because of the hype it had before. Also gave it 7 out of 10.
Interesting.
Seems legit.
Great minds.
I played Dear Esther.
Did you?
I've never played it before.
Finally.
I have a lot of feelings about this game. It's beautiful. So it's a walking simulator about a man who is walking through this island, trying to deal with the death of his wife, and has written all these letters to her. I think it's really, really beautiful. I think it's been out long enough that if I discuss the end, that isn't spoilers, is it? It's been out for ages, right?
I'd still be careful. How would you feel? Because you've only just played it. It's been out for ages. How would you feel if we'd spoiled it last week?
I mean, I'd be like, that's fair enough.
Would you?
Anyway, so I the thing that I take a little against is representations of what I see as being mental health. A lot of like drawing on the wall as like a distress signal, as like that is an outlet for mental health, and sort of a sign of having gone crazy. And there is a bit in it at the end which I think is not a useful or helpful representation of what I perceive to be suicide. It's I'm going to spoiler it. If you don't want to hear, look away now. So at the end, he climbs up a tower and jumps off it in what I see as him committing suicide. But as he gets to the bottom, he turns into a bird. I don't know if that is a very helpful way of showing the end of suicide, as setting yourself free and being able to fly around this beautiful, incredible island. So that was a bit tricky.
How else would you show the graphics off, though? Think about that, Anne.
Yes. No, fair enough, Simon.
What made you play that?
My darling boyfriend wanted to show me it because it's a game he loved, and so we decided to play it. And we have been really enjoying going for walks, and we haven't been able to get out for a walk for a while, so it was a bit like walking, but home.
Right.
Brilliant. And it's stunningly beautiful, absolutely gorgeous. I really liked it, really liked the narrative. Thought that the man, Nigel Carrington, was the voiceover. Thought he was excellent. Yes, I really enjoyed it. 7 out of 10.
Any thoughts, Anne?
It's not Muse, is it?
It's not Muse, no.
Well, then what's the point? What's the point in anything?
On Drones Day. This is a piece of music that was necessary due to the fact of how you used to play games.
Loading.
It's loading music, well done.
Whoa.
It's the loading music to Rambo on the Commodore 64, I think, although it's been reinterpreted. It's good, isn't it?
That's not bad.
Just enjoy this sort of thing and be part of the.
Like this, yeah.
Exactly. Right, we're running out of time. Thank you so much for listening. Jack Attriiidge, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thanks so much for having me.
Please do keep us posted.
Totally, yeah.
Keep me professionally and personally posted.
Yeah. We'll premiere the game on the show.
Okay.
So everyone can see it.
Now we're talking.
Yeah.
Parko, good luck with the book.
Thanks very much.
Pre-order now on Amazon.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Will you come back and read to us?
Yeah, I'll come and read.
Will you read to me before I go to sleep?
Yeah, why not?
Okay, call me up. Anne,
All right, Simon?
that went okay, did it?
Yeah, I think it was all right.
Good luck in Finland.
Thank you.
Say hi to Housemarque.
We will do. We'll sing hello to them.
Good news. Right, we'll be back next Monday. Thank you so much for listening. See you later.
See you.
Ciao.
Bye.
Bye.